Before starting this video, I'd like to say that I'm sorry for such a delay. This is coming out on Christmas if I got this out soon enough. If not, then oh crap, this video is so irrelevant. This video would have been out way sooner had I not broken my thumb a week ago. It's nothing too serious, but let me tell you something. Ever tried playing a high-speed platformer with a broken finger that's surrounded by metal? It's not fun. So, without further delay, let's start the review.
Come on, let the fuse, he's a rocket and he's ready to go. Cause now the countdown has started and he's ready to blow. He's got the dope sounds bumping and his stereo. He can act fast, putting on the show. Don't wanna get yourself together, there's no time to rest. And if you put the time in, he'll put you to the test. He's like a running man in his world, war is less. And if you wanna test him best, bring your best. Don't make me spell it out, bring your best.
Sonic Forces has gotten so much hate over the past month, and while I can kind of understand, I have to wonder why. I am in the minority when I say I love Sonic Forces. I am going to go into why, but first let's take a look at the story. Tired of constantly losing to Sonic, Eggman finally decides to get serious. Eggman brings back former villains Shadow the Hedgehog, Zavok from Sonic Lost World, Metal Sonic, and Chaos. He also brings in a new villain named Infinite. Together, they destroy Sonic, allowing Eggman to finally achieve his dreams of taking over the world. Months later, Knuckles, Amy, Silver, and the Chaotix have formed a resistance. Thinking that Sonic is dead, they are in desperate need of help, and that's where you come in. Sonic Force's main selling point is that you get to create your own custom character to interact with in the story. Returning from Generations and Mania, Classic Sonic comes back, but you won't understand why if you haven't seen the ending of Mania. After rescuing Sonic, the goal is simple: take back the world from Eggman.
He said it! He said it!
Sonic Forces gameplay is divided into 3 segments. It's very similar to Generations, in which you play as Modern Sonic and Classic Sonic. With Classic Sonic, you go through a strict 2D area, platforming to the end of the goal. And with Modern Sonic, you blast through everything at top speed, with a bit more linearity, but it's a lot more fun. At least in my opinion. They play pretty similar to the way they did in Generations, except Modern Sonic no longer has the drift, which makes things a lot more linear, and Classic Sonic now has the drop dash from Mania, which makes things a lot more easy. But let's be real, these stages barely present that much of a challenge anyway. Now joining is the custom character, a new feature that lets you create your own character. Oh man, DeviantArt's gonna have a field day. Custom characters can be equipped with their own Wispons, the weapons used in this game, each with enough variety to keep the gameplay interesting. Instead of explaining them each in detail, they're all pretty simple, so I feel like I could just give you a synopsis of each one. First is overpowered as fuck. You won't be using Drill if you care about your speed. The Cube is extremely satisfying. Lightning is way too long-ranged. Hover feels extremely pointless and is basically just a tiny shotgun. Void is an Urban Dictionary definition of OP. And Asteroid lets you do this. Sometimes there will also be a boss battle, but we'll get into those later once I reach the cons.
Chaos Control! Chaos Control!
Honestly, I don't have too much to complain about here. The gameplay feels solid, even if it's not the best the Boost formula has seen. Sonic stages were just a blast to play through, even if they were a lot less challenging and way more linear than, let's say, Unleashed, Generations, or Colors. I still found plenty to enjoy in these stages. The Avatar stages were also really well done. The mix of speed, platforming, and enemy rushes is actually how I'd like to see another adventure game, if they ever make one. But let's be real, we can only dream. Most of the Wispons work great, but like I mentioned before, only use Hover if you hate yourself. Classic Sonic was cool, to say the most. but he wasn't nearly as interesting as Generations or Mania. Character customization never once felt limiting or unoriginal. Not to mention, this game used QuickTime events and it didn't feel like it was overused, something that I feel happens way too often in video games today. I also really like what they did with the graphics and aesthetics in the game. Maybe it's just me, but this game really does look beautiful. From the textures of the Green Hill Zone all the way to the outer limits of the Death Egg, it's all just eye candy. I also like how Sega decided to finally include more characters than just Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, and Eggman. Seriously, anything with Omega has my seal of approval. And the soundtrack. Let's just say it's a mixed bag for everyone. Some think it's good, some think it's horrible, and some just think it's mediocre. Me, I just think it's one of the greatest soundtracks ever. Also, thank you, Sega. Thank you for finally making Shadow playable again. Even if he did play exactly the same as Sonic, only had 3 of his own stages, and was only available through Day 1 free DLC, I still give thanks to you.
Find the computer room!
While a lot of my complaints are just nitpicks, there are definitely some that stick out for me. While I did give credit to Sega for putting more Sonic characters in this, including some of my favorites, they don't really ever do anything, except for a couple occasions. It would have been great if you got to fight alongside them, but you never do. They're just in the cutscenes and occasionally do something. The only characters who seem to actually do something are the custom character and the 2 Sonics. Which leaves us with the obvious elephant in the room. Classic Sonic is completely pointless. It seems Sega only put him in there because he was the selling point of Generations, which made everyone love the game so much. I am not joking when I say he has literally no value to the plot whatsoever. Sure, he acts as a buddy for Tails, dealing with the fact that Sonic may be gone, but once he sees Sonic again, he's even more pointless. It also pains me to say that Shadow and Chaos don't have boss battles, which would be a bit more understandable if Zavok and Metal Sonic didn't have their own. You will forget about Chaos quicker than you forgot about Ray the Flying Squirrel. And finally, the boss battles. Oh my god, these are some of the laziest boss battles I have seen in a Sonic game to date. I swear they didn't even try, because so many of them are almost the exact goddamn thing. True, there were some that felt unique, but way too little of them. Are you seeing how similar these boss battles are? They are literally the exact same thing. Not to mention, this game was way too short and way too easy, and I had it set on hard mode. Either pick one or the other, Sega. Either just have it be short, or just have it be easy. Never go for both at the same time. While this game is far from perfect, and I did have a fair amount of issues with it, they were way too overshadowed by all the things I enjoyed about it. I had so much fun with this game, and for that, I can easily recommend it. 8 out of 10. Good job, Blue Blur. Can't wait to see what your future has in store.